Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Fluento, Everyday English for Real Life. I'm Anna.
And I'm David. Hey, Anna.
Hi, David. It's wonderful to be here again with all our listeners around the world. I hope you are having a lovely day, wherever you are right now.
Yes, welcome back, everyone. It's great to have you here with us again. So, Anna, what are we talking about today?
Today, David, we're talking about something that happens every single day. Something small, but something very powerful.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. What is it?
We are talking about small talk, those short, friendly conversations we have with people around us, at the coffee shop, in the elevator, while waiting for the bus, at work, with a neighbor.
Ah, yes, small talk. You know, Anna, I used to think small talk was not important. I thought, why talk about nothing? But I was wrong.
You were very wrong, David.
Very wrong. Small talk is actually a big deal.
It really is. Small talk helps us feel connected to other people. It makes the world feel a little warmer, a little friendlier. And for English learners, it is one of the most useful things to practice.
And the good news is, you don't need perfect English to do it. You just need a few friendly sentences and a smile.
Exactly. And today, we are going to show you how to do that, step by step. So stay with us, because this episode is full of useful tips, funny stories, and real-life examples.
And before we start, if you are enjoying Fluento, please take a moment to like this video. It really helps us reach more learners around the world.
And subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new episode. We put out new conversations every day, and we would love for you to be part of our Fluento family.
Okay, Anna, let's start. Why is small talk sometimes so difficult? I mean, it's supposed to be easy, right? It's small.
That's a great question. Many learners feel nervous because they think they need to say something perfect, something clever or interesting, but that's not true at all. The purpose of small talk is not to impress anyone. It is simply to be friendly.
To open the door, right?
Yes, small talk is like opening a door. You don't need to redecorate the whole house. You just need to open the door and let a little light in.
I love that. Okay, so I want to share something that happened to me recently because I think a lot of listeners will understand this feeling.
Oh, please do.
So a few weeks ago, I was sitting in a waiting room at the dentist. You know how quiet those places are. Everyone is just sitting there, looking at their phones or the ceiling.
Yes, I know that feeling very well. It can feel very uncomfortable.
Right. And there was a woman sitting next to me. She had a very nice bag. It had a little cat on it. I wanted to say something, but I just sat there, quietly, for 20 minutes.
20 minutes of silence.
20 whole minutes. And when she got up to leave, she smiled at me and said, "Nice day, isn't it?" And I just said, "Yes." And she walked away. And I thought, I could have said that 15 minutes ago.
Yes, David, that is such a relatable moment. So many people feel that way. They want to say something, but they wait too long and the moment passes.
Exactly. So what should I have done, Anna? What was the right move?
Well, you had a perfect conversation starter right in front of you. Her bag.
The cat bag.
Yes, a compliment is one of the easiest and most natural ways to start a small conversation. You could have said something like, "Oh, I love your bag. Is that a cat on it?"
That's so simple. Why didn't I think of that?
Because when we are nervous, our brain goes blank. But that's okay. That's why we practice. And once you know a few conversation starters, they become automatic, like riding a bike.
So compliments are one starter. What are some others?
Great question. Let's talk about 3 easy types of conversation starters. The first one, like we said, is a compliment. You notice something nice about the person or something near them. You can say things like, "That's a lovely coat," or, "Oh, is that a good book? I've been looking for something to read." Or, "That coffee smells amazing. What did you order?"
Oh, I like that last one. Talking about the coffee. Very natural in a coffee shop.
Very natural. The second type is a situational comment. This means you talk about what is happening around you, the environment, the moment. For example, if you are waiting in a long line at the grocery store, you could say, "This line is moving so slowly today, isn't it?" Or if the cafe is very busy, "I've never seen it this crowded in here before."
And everyone around you is in the same situation, so they understand exactly what you mean.
Precisely. You already have something in common. That's what makes situational comments so easy and natural.
And the third type.
The third type is a friendly question, something light and easy, not too personal, just curious and kind. Like, "Are you from around here? Have you been to this place before? Is this your first time trying their lunch menu?"
Short, simple, friendly. I can do that.
You absolutely can. And remember, you don't need a long answer. The other person might just say yes or no, and that's fine. Even a small exchange is a connection.
Okay, so now I know how to start. But Anna, I have to tell you about a small talk moment that did not go exactly as I planned.
Oh, this sounds interesting. Go on.
So I was at the gym last month. I was on the treadmill. The man next to me was also on the treadmill. And I thought, this is my chance. Small talk practice.
Good thinking.
So I turned to him and I said very casually, "Do you come here often?" And he looked at me very seriously and said, "David, I am your gym instructor. We have talked every Tuesday for 3 months."
Oh no, David.
I know, I know. I was so embarrassed. I had completely forgotten his face. I looked at him and I said, "Of course. Sorry, I was just checking if you remembered."
That is hilarious and very human. We all have those moments.
The lesson is sometimes small talk surprises you, and sometimes you surprise yourself. But even in awkward moments, you can laugh and move on. People appreciate honesty and a little humor.
Absolutely. And that brings us to something very important: how to keep a conversation going after you start.
Because starting is just the first step.
Exactly. Once someone responds to you, the conversation is alive. Now your job is to keep it breathing. And the best way to do that is with follow-up questions and natural reactions.
Follow-up questions. So, for example, if someone says, "I just got back from a holiday," I don't just say, "Oh, nice," and look at my phone.
Right. Instead, you can say, "Oh, really? Where did you go?" Or, "That sounds wonderful. How was it?" Or, "Oh, I love holidays. What was the best part?"
Each question invites them to share more, like you're opening another small door.
Yes, and don't forget natural reactions. These are short phrases that show you are listening, that you care. Things like, "Oh, wow, really? That sounds amazing. I didn't know that. How interesting."
These phrases are like little encouraging sounds. They tell the other person, "Keep going, I'm listening."
Exactly. Let me show you what a good small talk exchange sounds like. I'll be a person you meet at a coffee shop, and David, you start the conversation.
Okay, here we go. Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Is this seat taken?
Oh, no, please sit down.
Thank you. This place is so busy today, isn't it?
I know. I think they had a new article written about them online. It's been packed all week.
Really? That's great for them. Have you been coming here long?
About a year. They make the best lattes I've ever had. Do you live nearby?
Just a few streets away, yes. I walk past every morning, but I only come in on Fridays as a little treat.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. A Friday treat.
And scene.
That was perfect, David. You started with the situational comment, you asked a follow-up question, you shared a little about yourself. It felt completely natural.
And it was only about 30 seconds of conversation. It doesn't have to be long.
Not at all. Short and warm is better than long and awkward.
Now, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of our listeners feel. What happens when you don't understand a word? Someone is talking to you and they say something you have never heard before. What do you do?
This is so important, and I want every listener to hear this clearly. It is completely okay to ask someone to explain a word.
Yes, it doesn't mean your English is bad. It means you are paying attention.
Exactly. And there are very polite, natural ways to ask. For example, sorry, I'm not familiar with that word. What does it mean? Oh, could you explain that a little? I want to make sure I understand. Sorry, could you say that again? I didn't quite catch it.
These phrases are so useful, and most people are very happy to explain. They feel good about helping.
And here is something I have noticed. When you ask someone to explain something, it actually keeps the conversation going, because now they are explaining and you are listening, and suddenly you are having a real discussion.
Yes, I actually did this recently. I was talking to my neighbor, Mr. Henderson. He's retired and he loves to garden. He was telling me about his garden and he said his tomatoes were leggy.
Leggy tomatoes.
I had no idea what that meant, so I said, "Sorry, Mr. Henderson, leggy? What does that mean for a tomato?" And he lit up. He spent 10 minutes explaining that leggy means the plant has grown too tall and thin because it doesn't have enough sunlight.
And you learned something new.
And we had a wonderful conversation about gardening, which I now know a little about. He even gave me some tomatoes.
See? Small talk led to tomatoes. You can't argue with that.
You really can't, and that's actually a perfect example of what small talk can do. It can turn a stranger into a friendly face, or a neighbor into someone who shares their garden with you.
I have a story like this too. A few months ago, I was at the pharmacy waiting for my prescription. A woman stood next to me, and we both noticed that the pharmacist was taking a very long time.
A shared waiting experience.
Yes. So I turned to her and said, "It's always a bit of a wait here, isn't it? But they're always so careful and kind." And she smiled and said, "Yes, I don't mind waiting when people are nice." And we got talking. She asked what I did for work, I asked about her, and it turned out she had lived in Portugal for 5 years.
Oh, really?
And I had just been thinking about visiting Lisbon, so she gave me all her restaurant recommendations. I wrote them down in my phone.
That's incredible. A pharmacy waiting room turned into a travel guide.
Small moments can lead to wonderful things. And now let's talk about something that some people find the hardest part of all.
The ending?
The ending, saying goodbye, closing the conversation politely without making the other person feel dismissed.
I used to be terrible at this. I would just keep talking and talking because I didn't know how to stop, or I would suddenly say, "Okay, bye," and walk away too fast.
Both of those can feel uncomfortable, but the good news is ending a conversation is a skill, and like all skills, it gets easier with practice.
So, what are some good exit phrases?
Here are a few that sound very natural. You can say, "Well, it was so lovely chatting with you. I should get going, but it was really nice to meet you. I don't want to keep you. Thanks for the chat. I'll let you get back to your day. Have a wonderful afternoon."
These are all so warm. They don't sound rude at all.
Not at all. The key is to include something positive before you say goodbye. Acknowledge the conversation. Thank the person. Wish them well.
It's like wrapping a little gift. You tie a ribbon around the conversation before you hand it back.
Oh, I love that, David. Yes, tie a ribbon around it.
Let me try one. Anna, I'm going to end this conversation with you right now, just for practice.
Go ahead.
Well, Anna, this has been such a nice little chat. I really enjoyed talking with you today. I should probably get back, but have a lovely rest of your day.
That was beautiful. Warm, natural, and kind. Well done.
Thank you. It really does feel better to have a plan. You don't have to improvise.
Exactly. And listeners, this is the same for you. When you are in a real conversation and you want to leave, just use one of those phrases. You can even practice them at home. Say them out loud. Get comfortable with the sounds and the words.
Practice in the mirror. Seriously, it works.
It does! Okay, before we close today, let's do a quick recap of everything we covered, because we want you to leave with a clear picture.
Yes, let me try. First, we talked about why small talk matters. It's not about saying something perfect, it's about being friendly and making a small human connection.
Good! And what are the three types of conversation starters?
Compliments, noticing something nice, situational comments, talking about what's happening around you, and friendly questions, light, curious, not too personal.
Perfect. And how do you keep the conversation going?
With follow-up questions, ask them more about what they said, and with natural reactions, like, really, or, oh wow, or, that sounds amazing. These show you are listening.
And if you don't understand a word,
Ask, sorry, what does that mean? Or, could you explain that? People are usually very happy to help.
and finally, how do you end a conversation?
With warmth, tie a ribbon around it. Say something like, it was really lovely talking with you, and then wish them a good day.
You have learned so much today, David.
I had a great teacher.
And listeners, we want to hear from you. Have you had a small talk moment recently? Maybe it went well, maybe it was a little awkward, maybe it was funny. Tell us in the comments below. We read every single comment and we love hearing your stories.
Yes, please share. And if this episode helped you, please give it a like. It takes just 1 second, and it means everything to us.
And subscribe to Fluento if you haven't already. Every day we bring you a new conversation, new vocabulary, new tips, all designed for real-life English.
Well, Anna, I feel so much more confident about small talk now. I'm actually excited to try it tomorrow.
That makes me very happy to hear, David. And remember, everyone, small conversations can create big connections. You never know where one friendly sentence might take you.
Exactly. Just open the door, say hello, and see what happens.
You don't need perfect English. You just need a warm heart and a little courage.
And maybe a compliment about someone's bag.
Yes, always a good idea. Thank you so much for listening and practicing with us today. We are so proud of every one of you.
Keep going. Your English is getting better every single day. We mean that.
We'll see you next time on Fluento, everyday English for real life.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye for now. Take care.